Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make my version of the classic Scoodie, the scarf hoodie. My iteration of this piece is one that's made to be a bit thicker and warmer on the head, as opposed to a lot of the ones you see with granny squares that end up being a bit thinner and don't provide as much warmth and as much coverage for your head. If this video helps you, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get right on into it. For your materials today, you will need a 4mm hook, as well as about 600 grams of a weight for yarn, some stitch markers, as well as a pair of scissors. I also post full written patterns on my Instagram page, so you can go head over there if you want that as well. We're going to begin by making this square size panel. This is going to be the thick part that actually keeps your head warm and will be in the back of your head. For step 1, you're going to start by making a slip knot. And to do so, you want to use your forefinger and your thumb of your left hand, and then your middle ring and pinky on the same hand to hold the yarn like so. Using your other hand, you want to make a bit of a pinching motion, expand your thumb and forefinger, and twist it, so that way the yarn closer to you is over top of the back piece. You're then going to grab that shorter end like I'm doing here, still holding it with your left hand, and then pull the yarn through itself to tighten into a knot. From there, you're going to grab your hook and insert it directly through that slip knot you just made. We're then going to do something called chaining, and this is going to be the base of the piece that we're making here. Basically, to make a chain, you want to hold your hook with your right hand, or if you're lefty, you would do this opposite, and then wrap the yarn with your left hand over top of the hook. So showing to you from the normal angle, you'll pull over and then pull that through the loop you already had. And you're just going to repeat that until you have reached the length of your head. For a child size hat, which is what I'm making here, I chain 40 times. For a grown adult, you're probably going to want to go somewhere around 50, but you can measure this up against your own head. Once you're done, you'll have a piece that looks like this. One nice, long, relatively even chain. If you have different sizes, I recommend just taking it apart and practicing until they're all about the same. From there, we're going to add 2 more chains, which are called turning chains, and we're going to use it to start off this step 4 here, which is adding our double crochets. So skip those last 2 chains you made that I'm pointing out, and begin to make your double crochet into that third one here. To make a double crochet, you're basically going to take your hook and wrap it around first, the same way we're going to do that chain. The difference here is instead of pulling through again, you're going to push your hook through the stitch you want to put your double crochet into. From here, you'll have 3 loops on your hook. We then want to yarn over again and pull it through just that first loop here, so that way you again only have 3 loops. You'll yarn over and pull through those remaining 2, and then when you have 2 left, you'll yarn over once more and pull through the final 2. That is what we're going to be repeating all the way down this row here, so you're just going to repeat the steps again. I'll show you one more time though. You're going to yarn over and then insert your hook, pull through 2, and pull through 2 more. And again, rewind that if you need to see it all again. When you get to your last double crochet here, you want to make sure you have the exact same amount as you did chains, and you'll have a nice long piece that looks like this. To make your next row, you want to lightly pull up on your yarn like so you give it a little bit of leeway, and then turn your work all the way around. This is how you'll be starting every row in the future. You're then going to make something called a front post double crochet. The steps for this are exactly the same. The difference now is you're going through that double crochet you made in the last row. You're simply going to yarn over, push through the stitch, do your yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 again. What's very important about these double crochets is where you're inserting your hook into after you do your first yarn over. So as you can see here, for a front post, it's going in front of the stitch we just made. We're going to do the same thing again, where we're now going behind and in front of a stitch like this, pulling it through and doing the double crochet the same way you do them normally. And please, if this is going too fast for you, feel free to shoot me a comment or a DM on Instagram and I can send you a slower video. From here, we're going to make back post double crochets, and the only thing that we change is the way we insert our hook into the row itself. So go now from behind and around the double crochet stitch, basically the opposite of the way you were doing them previously. Once you go through, it'll look like this on your hook, And then you'll just continue doing your yarning over and pulling through the same way you've made every double crochet up until this point. You want to make sure you're going nice and slow and that you're being very precise on where you're placing each and every one of your stitches. As you can see, the front posts are very clearly in the front of the stitches, and after we make this second back post, you'll just be able to see how much of a ribbed-like effect it creates by putting the back post behind them instead. A quick tip for if you've never done something like this before, I recommend practicing a few times on a spare piece before you continue going all the way up and down your row. For step 8 though, you're just going to be repeating the last 2 steps over and over until you reach the end. You'll notice that the front posts are going to stick out and the back posts are going to be sucked in. When you reach the end of your row, you should make sure that you have 2 of each. Most likely if you started with front posts, you'll end with back posts. You're then going to want to pull up on your yarn and turn your work around again. This time now, when you do your front post double crochets, you're going to be going just directly into the row the same way it was last time. So basically, if your last thing was a front post double crochet, front post into them again. And then on the back side, you're going to do the same thing. If it was a back post, then back post into that again. You're going to just repeat these rows over and over until you have the proper height to fit your own head. Once you have reached the height you want, you're going to chain 1 in that last stitch and do a quick cut of your yarn here. From there, you will pull up on your hook, and that's going to tie off a nice tight knot. For the next part of our video, we are going to be making the framing for the front of the hood. Once again, you're going to begin with a slip knot here, doing these steps the exact way we did the first time, but again I want to show you just so that way you can start to get the hang of it. After you've made your slip knot, you want to insert your hook, pull on it, and then be ready to make a chain of 18. You would be doing 16 plus your turning chains regardless of any of the other metrics you used. The first step to this pattern is to skip those last turning chains and make 2 double crochets, not into the same stitch, just consecutively one after another. After you've made those 2, we're going to do something called a cable. A cable is made by double crocheting into the 3rd stitch and then the 4th stitch back to back. So these are done in groups of 4. You'll go first double crocheting, skipping 2 chains, then going into the following stitch, which would be that chain 4. And now you're going to backtrack and do your double crochets into chains 1 and 2. And basically what you're doing here is very similar to how you made the back post double crochets in your last row. This time though, you're not going physically behind a stitch, you're going into the chain. So I'm pointing it out here so you can kind of have a good look at it. Insert your double crochet through the back of it like so, and pull your yarn over the front. Then you're just going to finish your double crochet by by pulling through 2 and pulling through 2 more. This is going to create that diagonal cable-y look. Your last stitch here will be into that 2nd chain that I pointed out before, doing the exact same thing you just did, where you yarn over and go through the back, and then pull your yarn up through the front of it. And if it helps you, you can also take the time to do stitch markers into that 1, 2, 3, and 4th stitch, just so that way you don't lose your spot as you're going through them. Just rewind back to where I pointed out which stitch was what prior to this. The next step will be to make 4 more consecutive double crochets, so that's just one after another until you have 4 total. From there, you're just going to repeat the steps to make a second cable. Remember, we start by going into that 3rd chain from where you're at, making your first double crochet there. Then again, going into the 4th chain. And then once you finish those 2, you're going to backtrack and do your double crochet into the 1st chain there. And be gentle when you pull through. That's a quick tip. Pulling too tight might make your cable look a little bit sloppy. But after you have pulled through in its entirety, you're going to go into your 2nd chain there and put your last double crochet. And again, if you're stuck on any of this, please feel free to reach out to me and I can help you. From there, to finish this off, you're going to do 2 more consecutive double crochets, ending in that last stitch here. You should have this cute pattern here, and now for step 8, you're going to pull up, turn your work, and repeat that pattern over and over again until you reach the same amount of rows you did for the height of that square panel. So remember, you'll start by doing those 2 double crochets, And I just want to show you the cable one more time as we go into the second row so you have a good grasp on it as we move on through the piece. So remember, you want to isolate those 4 chains. Now they're just the tops of the double crochet stitches. So you'll start by going into that 3rd stitch. It'll be a little bit easier to see which is what this time around. When you're done, you'll go into the 4th stitch. And then you're going to backtrack by going again into the 1st stitch followed by the 2nd. So just be very gentle and make sure you don't pull too tightly like I said before, or it'll make it too hard to keep track of your stitches in the next row. But after you do your first one, you're just going to make sure that you put in that 2nd one right here. And from there, the rest of the pattern stays the same. To end this piece, you will do your chain 1, cut your work once again, and pull straight up through. That will make your knot, and then you can continue. Our last panel will include what is both the bottom of the hood as well as the length of the scarf. Once again, we're going to start by making another slip knot. You should be a pro at this by now. After it's been made, you just want to insert your hook, and this time, once again, regardless of anything else that you've made at this point, you're going to make a height of 22 chains. That includes your 20 and your turning 2. Once you're done, you are very simply going to double crochet all the way down the row, just making sure to skip those 2 turning chains. This is the exact same thing we did when we made the first step of that square panel. And remember, always keep track and count as you go. You want to make sure that you have exactly 20 double crochets at the end of this row. Once you make it to the end, you will have something that looks like this, about the size of your hand. Then you'll pull up and begin to go back through. So remember, this time instead of doing front post and back post, we're just going to be going into the stitches the same way we made the double crochets in the last piece of the panel. You'll make as many rows as you want. I made 30. And that was quite simple. Once you're done with all 30 rows, you will do your chain and cut your yarn, then simply pull it straight through. After you've finished everything that you did on those first 3, you want to repeat so that way you have 2 full panels of each design. So you'll have 2 halves of the scarves, 2 of those square panels, and 2 of those framing ones. This is done so that way we can just repeat it all and sew everything together in the back. Follow this pattern that I did here to line up your panels together. You want the scarf on the bottom, in the top left you want your little square, and on the right of that you want to put your little framing piece. I'll be using something called stitch markers here, and they're basically these little plastic safety pins that you can use to crochet through and then unclip them to pull it straight out without knotting. You can also use bobby pins if you have those laying around, so you don't have to go out and buy stitch markers if you don't already have. Please attach them to the same points that I'm attaching them here, which is basically the corners of where anything meets. So I'm doing 3 to attach the scarf to the panels on top, but you can also add a 4th here too if you like to have 2 in the middle. And then once you're done, you're going to add an extra to the top part of the square panel as well as the framing one. Once you have added all of your stitch markers, and feel free to add as few or as many as you would like, you're going to make another slip knot. This is how we're going to connect everything together without using a darning needle to sew. I want things to be very heavy duty, so I'm going to be using something called a single crochet instead. Flip your piece so it looks like this, and start on the right side, which is where the scarf kind of branches off from the project, and go left through it. You're going to insert your hook into that corner stitch where you put that first marker, and then make a single crochet. A single crochet is simply yarning over and pulling through, and then with 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through again. You're going to continue that all the way down, so that way you basically have enough to make 2 in each of those little scarf rows, if that makes sense. So if each row of the scarf was 1 double crochet, you'll do 1 single crochet into each of those halves of the double crochet. I'm pointing it out on the right here, blown up a little bit better to explain what I'm saying, but basically for every 1 row, you'll be doing 2 single crochets. Into those side stitches here, where I put the stitch markers, you want to make sure that you're very, very carefully going into the corners. Everything needs to line up or things are going to overlap really weirdly, so make sure that you fold things over nicely like this, and just do 1 stitch into both stitch marker stitches, if that makes sense. After that, you're just going to continue down the rest of the row the same way we were doing it a minute ago. What's important when you get to the frame part is that you're still just going equally 2 into each of the double crochet rows. It should be pretty easy to identify where you're going at this point. Once you reach the end like this, you will do your chain 1, cut your yarn and pull it through the same way we've been doing it this whole time. That is actually the easiest part because it never will change. For step 5, I want you to take out your stitch markers. You could of course leave them until the end, but it will be a little bit easier to see this way. The part with this ridge is going to be on the inside, and then we're going to flip our piece over so we can attach that frame to the square panel as well. And this gets done the same way as we just did before, where you just simply start out by making, once again, another slip knot, and then you're going to repeat your steps from right to left until you get to the very end of that row. Again, you want to insert first into the corner and begin doing your single crochets as simply as you can. Once you make it all the way down that row and you get to that little spot here, I'm going to add 1 extra single crochet into that row that we did to make the last stitch connection, then do my chain 1, cut my yarn, and pull it through. From there, I'm just going to take out the last stitch marker and do the same steps to the other side of the hat. The difference is you want to line it up so the inside part is the opposite. So if you had your scarf facing the right before, you want it facing left this time. Once both of these panels are fully put together, you want to now add your stitch markers going down the connections to both sides. Make sure that your inside out part is facing up and that all of these extra stitch connections that you're going to be making are facing the same direction. This is so that way nothing sticks out when you actually flip your hat inside out. Once your stitch markers are in, you're going to repeat the same exact thing that we've been doing this whole time. You're going to make your slip knot and insert your hook into that top right hand corner, making sure that it's going through both of the parts that the stitch marker is through. And from there, you want to very gently continue to stitch together the same way you've been doing the whole time, making sure that everything is even. You're not doing any few stitches or too many stitches. You're just going straight up and down the rows so everything is equal to one another. It's important in this part when you're doing the 2 of these double crochet front post back post stitches that you're actually going through both halves. Since it's a bit thicker, you might think you're going through both, but you're just going through one. And then when you get to that middle stitch here, make sure very, very carefully that you are grabbing both halves like this and then continuing through it. Once you're all the way done, and I apologize for that brightness, you're just going to cut your yarn and pull through. Keeping up with the repetition here, you're going to take out your stitch markers and then put them back in so we can sew the top part together. And you'll only need 1 or 2 for this top part if you so please. I'm going to put 1 in between the spot where the frame meets the panel and where the 2 outer corners of the frame meet each other. But like I've been saying this whole time, just place them wherever you want them so that way this becomes easier for you. When you're done, you'll make your last slip stitch here, and then you can just connect the top starting at the right and going all the way down. Since this is the top of your head, you really want to be very careful to do an exact amount of stitches as you go straight down so nothing gets tugged into each other. Remember, for every double crochet row, you usually want to have 2 of these single crochets. That way nothing gets pulled in on itself or doubled up too many times. You're just going to go all the way down from here. The next step is just to finish off this piece of yarn the same way we've been doing it the whole entire time. Then you're just going to take out your stitch markers. After everything has been removed, we're going to do something called weaving in your ends. And to weave in your ends, you basically can either use a darn needle or a hook. And the premise of this is just to pull in all of these yarn tails before you trim or cut them. And we do it this way to avoid anything coming undone. For example, if you just cut them while they were sticking at the edge, they might poke out and be pulled, whereas if you tuck them further into the hat, there's a much lower chance of anything coming undone. So as you can see, I really am just going in and out, sort of like a running stitch. I'm just using my hook to pull things through these stitches I already have, rather than pulling out a whole darning needle and having really long yarn tails and wasting yarn. Of course, if you prefer to use it that way, be my guest. It's not going to change the outcome. It really will just be up to your personal preference. Once your yarn is at a point here where everything is getting pretty low, I'm just going to take my scissors and do a little trim pretty close to the piece. And from here, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this project, and once again, if you did, please leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe for new videos every Sunday. I also post on Instagram, Depop, and TikTok. The links will be here and in the description. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all next week. Bye bye!